going on?
Hey, I'm here with my dog, my teammate. I'm super hyped to have my girl here. Two-time WNBA All-Star, Kelsey Mitchell. What's good with it?
So,
me, I'm a Midwestern girl, born and raised in Cincinnati, Ohio. 513 kid. It's kind of tough to come out of where I come from because it's so small, and so you get what you get. It's kind of a dense city. It's not as like a Miami or like Atlanta, so you kind of get what you get. And so I grew up hooping through my family. I come from a family dynamic of just sports. My dad was he went to school to play football. So he met my mom at Eastern Kentucky.
Okay.
And that's how I was kind of brought into this world.
Shout out to your
7 years, 4 coaches, and a whole lot of losing. That's what Kelsey Mitchell's been dealing with on the Indiana Fever. But last year, everything flipped upside down, and you won't believe who's responsible. Clark, that Clark, the 2024 rookie phenom everyone's talking about. But here's where it gets really interesting. Clark didn't just bring hype, she brought hope, and now Mitchell's playing like a superstar.
you and E both been here for a number of years, right?
Yeah.
Y'all done been through the tough years. Well, you really got to grind it out. You know, tough season.
What, you had 7 years here?
All 7.
All 7. You ain't never been to another
Fever
team.
girl.
7 years, and how many years?
So I was here from 2015
She was my
to.
back.
Hey, wait. Wait.
She was.
Don't count my age right now on TV. Don't do that. Don't do me like. Yes, play. The first 3 years, like you can kind of sum it up. You ain't got to give me a long story. I was there with you for 2 of them. So kind of give me what that rough patch was like, and then we can kind of skip through and get to where you at right now.
Let's break down how one player changed everything for a franchise on the brink. Imagine playing your heart out for 7 straight years and still not tasting a championship. That's exactly what Kelsey Mitchell went through at the Indiana Fever. Let's rewind to 2018 when Mitchell first joined the team as the number 2 overall pick.
I think Indy, that was my year 1 through 3.5. Well, let me just say this. I went through my 7 years in Indy. I've had 4 head coaches. So that within itself was kind of like, you know, no one really knows what an experience of like the black stick at the bottom. Trust me, I've been there. Trust me. So I was, you know, that's really how it started.
You think she was about to live out her championship dreams. Right, wrong. Mitchell walked straight into a nightmare year after year. The losses piled up like dirty laundry, but Mitchell's numbers, they just kept climbing. We're talking 16 points per game for over half a decade, while the team was falling apart around her. Can you believe that kind of consistency? It's like she was playing in a different league than the rest of her team.
And so when y'all left, it was still a rebuild stage. So different coaches got hired. And I think that at that point, we was trying to figure out whether I was keep swimming or if I would sink individually. And I'll be honest, I didn't know what would happen in my career. I didn't know how it would turn out because the points were the points, the accolades were accolades, but it wasn't enough.
That team winning. Team, not individual, team.
And anybody that wanted to compete and be a winner, you know,
It's about team.
It's about team. The stage was at. I didn't know what All-Star was going to look like for me. I never really put it on like not necessarily. It wasn't a goal. I just knew I needed to train and do what I need to do to keep my name. Like I said, you in defense mode and everything you do at that point. And so when I got the first, and I was like, really? You know, I got a call from the WNBA. You know, you get the call.
Bro, but like you wasn't even hype. You were just I'm going to WNBA stuff. What? Hold on. I'm in the locker room like, yo. Hey, I'm like, what's up? Hey, I'm like,
man, and it's so crazy. Like I downplayed it.
no, so bad. I need you to know. I need you to know you downplayed it so bad. I had to make a damn announcement.
But here's where it gets really wild. 4 different coaches in 7 years. 4. How do you build chemistry when the playbook changes every season? It's like trying to learn a new language every time you step on the court. Most players would have been out the door faster than you can say trade request, but not Mitchell. She stuck around through it all.
Really great pieces around me, and I just think it was unfortunate. And I just think the hand I was dealt was like, you know, I trusted in the organization in different ways, from like the management and the people that they brought in, and so I just kind of like trusted the wave. And so I look back on trusting that wave now, and now you know I'm here. I don't know what.
You really started over 4 times though.
I did.
Like you, every time you get a new coach, you kind of really start over because you got to build that relationship with that coach. Although the coach know who you are, they know what the players they have in the locker room. It's a different ball game for sure.
I was in survival mode when I put my back against the wall, and so what everybody see now is just I've always been a fighter. You know, I've kind of had to compete and find a different way to, you know, I always got my back there.
Now you might be wondering, why would anyone put themselves through that kind of torture? Well, Mitchell's commitment to the Fever wasn't just about basketball, it was about trust. She believed in the organization, even when nobody else did. Mitchell said, "Oh, I trusted in the organization in different ways, from like the management and the people that they brought in, and so I just kind of like trusted the wave."
I always got my back dirty.
Man,
There was never a time
like
where
that.
Hey, that's a good one.
like that.
I always got my back dirty. Hold on, let me put that in my pocket.
like that.
Yeah,
I always got my back
like
dirty.
that.
Hold
I
on,
always
quote
had
that,
to.
quote that. I always got my back
I've
dirty.
always had to, and you can kind of relate because, you know, you've had to go to different places and, you know, get a spot. For me, it was about keeping my name, at least, or my game relevant to, you know, enough to have value. You know, it's been a difficult year for me from a standpoint of like personal. You know, I lost my dad 5 or 6 months ago, so that was tough. And I look back on my year now, Dub, and I'm just so grateful to be here again, because I never thought, you know, for one, to be doing it without a parent. I think anybody that come from a 2-parent home or know what that's like, or just, you know, lovable parents in general.
Right.
And, you know, when I lost that, I didn't know what was going.
But let's be real, that wave was more like a tsunami of disappointment. The Fever's playoff drought wasn't just a statistic on a screen, it was years of frustration of coming so close and falling short time and time again. Can you imagine the emotional toll that takes on a player? It's like running a marathon, where the finish line keeps moving further away. Kelsey Mitchell's individual excellence was finally recognized in 2023 after years of being overshadowed by her team's struggles. She was selected as an all-star for the first time in her career, a moment of triumph and validation. This achievement was not only a recognition of her skills, but also her perseverance through years of adversity.
And I think, you know, it was hard to find that people that believed in it, and that's why I miss my dad so much now, because he was the only person that reminded me what that worth was like. And so he was aggressive and hard on me, but it came in a position of, now I don't need nobody to tell me. I don't want nobody, because when I needed saving, nobody. You go through certain things, you know, it hit home, a part of your heart's, you know, broken, and you look back on it, and you, some of the hours that I put in the gym, I couldn't even calculate them, because I felt so much pain and trauma. Like, I felt so much pain. Like, I felt so much, like, I worried about my mom. I worried about how she feel now that she didn't have a significant other. I worried about my siblings. My brother was overseas. My sister was trying to figure out life outside of her 9-to-5 job, what she wanted to do, and she had got into coaching and relied on my dad for some stuff. And so we all had a piece ripped from us, and we didn't know how it was going.
Kelsey Mitchell didn't just endure, she thrived. Her work ethic became the stuff of legends within the field organization. She was often the first player in the gym and the last to leave while everyone else was hitting snooze. Mitchell was hitting jumpers when others were calling it a day. She was calling for one more drill.
Someone to know, you know, what it feels like to lose a parent. You killing it. I want to tell you.
And you made it easier too, because like I knew that you had kind of experienced it. But it was different when knowing that I experienced it and I could lean on you for certain stuff. So even though I give you a hard time, it really comes from love.
You do give me a hard time.
It comes from love though, because like me and Dub have always had this relationship. So I look at it now, gang. You know, I look at our lockers and stuff every day. I just be like, dang, I'm here today.
Well,
so I'll be grateful, man.
Man, listen, I'm in there with you, and I'm telling you, man, you're doing a hell of a job. You show up and do your job every day. You know, sometimes I gotta get in your but that comes with the territory. You know what I mean?
Who would I be if I didn't yank Dub's chain?
Hey, but I'm telling you, man, you're doing a hell of a job.
I appreciate you.
You might be thinking, okay, but how bad could it really have been? Oh, just wait until you hear what happened next. The losses kept piling up, but Mitchell kept her head down and her game up. She was like a lighthouse in a storm, guiding her team through the darkness, even when it seemed like there was no end in sight. But here's the thing about Mitchell, she wasn't just playing for herself. She was playing for her teammates, for the fans who stuck around through the tough times, and for a city that desperately needed something to cheer about. Every time she stepped on the court, she was carrying the weight of an entire franchise on her shoulders.
Like, you know, I had a village when, you know, life had hit, because my dad was a big piece of like a lot of stuff in the city, and so it affected people in different ways that I didn't even and so I got therapy. Therapy was ice on the cake. I got with the patient's facility, St. Vincent, the Fever. Before the season I got started, and I took therapy really serious. Shout out to the doc, man. He was the therapist, because you know, it's nothing like laying your problems on people and shit. They don't judge you.
Hey,
nah, for
you know,
real.
like, you know, you just just lay it on him, and it just kind of helped me. You know, I did it day by day, and you know, I got into scripture, and God Himself was the main thing though.
Mm-hmm.
Like the more and more I got closer to the word and the purpose, everything got easier. Like I'm not lying, I feel like the stick shit at the bottom of the barrel is kind of like, you know, you fighting for it, defending whatever, you know, legacy you got left, and trying to figure it out how to be where we at now. And so, oh man, I think we got a chance to do something special.
No, seriously though, when it's back to back, that just prove people like y'all should have never been overlooked at me anyways. You know what I mean? It's back to back, and like even now, like the numbers is up even more. Like the efficiency is out this world. From like your previous years, from last year, I think you are like a 7 or a 10% jump. That ain't them small numbers, but them big numbers in basketball.
And when you hear that conversation, you gotta be willing to give up something to get what you want. And it's like that, you gotta do what you gotta do, kind of like that effect, like you gotta have it. And I think that secondly, you gotta shut up and work.
What you saying?
Shut up and work.
Wait. Where that camera at? You that one on you? Go ahead, say it right there. That camera right there.
Shut up and work.
Hey, Kelsey said, shut up and work. We at year 7 and the trajectory has changed. The world is watching us. And of course, we got to shout out Caitlin She has a big part of that, of why the world is watching us. We going to give her flowers. She is who she is.
Got to.
That's a motherfucker. We going to just put it out in the air.
That's fine.
But
and I think that when I look back to where I've never been a part of a playoff, so I don't know what that's going to look like for me personally, but I think everything that I've been through in my life, I gotta treat it like it's basketball, man. I gotta, you know, take it on like I would anything else, any other game. And I think right now is the time that you can't get caught lacking. You can't be lulled to sleep. It's the easiest time. And I'm, you know, just trying to stay focused on what's right. You know how I go, keep the main thing. But I feel confident about what we could do. Like I do. I feel like we got a chance to do something special or crazy. I think that experiencing it, I love Caitlinclark fans, but Caitlinclark fans is different. They like C-Square, shout out to the gang, like
different.
They are very passionate people, and like they gonna ride or die. Like
listen, Caitlinclark is a god to her friends. She does no wrong. Do not play with her fans.
Just to say, C-Square, I'm happy I'm on the right end of it.
We on the right end of the stick, baby, because
I hate to be.
Listen,
because
they love us right now. But if we go right left, it's over for us.
Caitlinclark fans, I love you back. I promise.